Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Laleh Hancock, and today I'd like to share a little bit more about me and the businesses that I get to work with and play with every single day, and the journey that's brought us to where we are today. And people ask me all the time because I travel globally to different communities, work with different businesses, work with different individuals, and they're always curious to like, how did you get here? Like, where did it start for you? And I have to say, it actually started a very long time ago. I've always been a very curious person. um, in this reality, I would say I was a very intelligent, smart person, skipped a couple of grades, and I was always looking to find ways to get better, feel better, be happier. But it was always for me about everyone else. So, what can I learn? What can I put in my toolbox that can assist other people when they're sad, when they're stressed, when they have some health issues going on? And as a very young child, I had decided I was going to be a police officer, but that was a little too dangerous for my mother. So I went away from being a police officer and instead really was about becoming a doctor, a pediatrician. And what was really interesting is that the more I got engaged in the healthcare field, I spent many years working in hospitals. Of course, I was in school studying medicine, pre med, and working in hospitals, outpatient surgery centers, um, surgeons, plastic surgery, all sorts of different things. And it was very interesting to the style of medicine that I really wanted to practice at that moment really wasn't the popular medicine in America. It really was more the style of what we called HMO back then. Um, it really was about the number of patients that you can see per day. So it was a lot more focused towards medication than it really was about getting to know your patients and seeing not what are the symptoms only, but what's the root cause of what's bringing them there? And for me, it was about partnership. And my life kind of took a different direction. There was a massive earthquake in America where we lived in Northridge, California. And we were planning to move to the East Coast. And I decided, you know what? I cannot really stay here. I haven't been able to sleep in 4 months since the earthquake started. And with the earthquake, it was really interesting. Like my level of sensitivity had skyrocketed. I know today what I was aware of then, but back then I had absolutely no idea. I just knew I couldn't sleep. It felt like for me, my body was shaking continuously because I could perceive the earth still moving under my feet. Um, and I decided to move to the East Coast. That was the plan always, but I ended up kind of going much faster. And when I made that choice and decision, and then my husband joined up with me, like my direction really shifted. And I had the choice at that moment because I put med school on hold for 1 year and really decided, you know what? I'm not sure that that's the route I want to go. I know that assisting people to be healthier was really something I always wanted to do, but I wondered if there was other ways to do it. And so business always came naturally to me. At the age of 7, I was telling my dad how to run his business. Um, so for me, business was just this easy thing that I just adored and loved. And so I ended up going more that route eventually. And with it came lots of different possibilities. But one of the things I realized is that the more I climbed the ladder, the more stress in my life. I was healthy, but I could see how much stress impacted everyone around me. There was an organization I worked at, not going to mention any names, but we had coworkers that were in their 30s going home and then not waking up, literally having a heart attack. and having a heart attack at this particular company was very high, which was so weird to me, but it really was the level of stress. Um, I realized I really love working with others to create and grow businesses, um, but really wanted to find alternative ways of like, how do I stay healthy? How do I also give tools out of my toolbox to others who can be more productive at work? And I realized as the more I expanded my skills in leadership, that it actually was critical to create an environment where people could be more engaged and also creative and have more wellness. And it's really interesting. With that, um, I started a consulting company. I work with lots of small, medium, enterprise, global, global companies over the years. And then I realized when I was at a startup and we grew massively, I realized at a point that, as much as I love being part of this growth and being a leader that ignites and allows people to really grow, I was really looking at my skills and abilities. I didn't want it limited to one company. So I decided to start a consulting company, and that consulting company got to work with lots of different kinds of organizations, whether it was startups, working with an entrepreneur to start a startup, whether it was small business, whether it was a mid-size or enterprise, and even working with the government. So we ended up having a lot of different kinds of projects. And with it, also working with the not-for-profit organizations and working a lot with the board of directors, and also within the organizations, doing a lot around culture transformation, looking at other ways to engage with their employees. And one of the things I saw the pattern of is that a lot of people are affected by one person having something going on in their world, whether it was their health, it was their relationship, something going on in their lives. It could have been that CEO, it could have been the senior executive team, it could have been any leader in that organization. And I realized as much as I'm always there providing tools and resources for the senior leadership team that I would work on consulting projects that we had, improving their internal systems, whether it was leadership development, whether it was creating different things for the voice of the employees and the business, um, products, services, sales. Anyway, we ended up looking at all of this, but it was still very different being there from a consulting organization than it was from a wellness perspective. And so I realized what was really needed is for me to start a different kind of organization. So we started Global Wellness for All. And it was about the oneness of you, whether the oneness is a business, whether it's an individual, but looking at there's so many factors in our lives that affect and become a domino effect for other things. So, if there's some health issues going on in your family, you're gonna be affected by it unless you don't allow it, unless you put in some pragmatic tools and resources for yourself so that you're not affected by it. But what I actually saw is if there were things going on at home with the kids, if someone was diagnosed with something, how quickly that really created that domino effect in the organization. CEO or leadership teams that were getting divorced, how much that affected everybody in that particular division or service line or whatever it was. And so Global Wellness for All was really created with 6 pillars. One is about you, your body, this wonderful thing that we have called the body, your psychological components, your health, really. But then there's these other sides. it's your relationships, whether it's your coworkers, your employees, or at home. They really have a huge impact. And then finances and the creation of wealth. It's not just about, are you making, your bills? Are you able to pay your bills? But it's, how are you also creating for the future, for you, your family, and the business, the organization? And then also, your business and your career are a big part of that. We end up spending a lot of our hours in a day focused on where we work. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're focused a lot on that. So it became you, your body, your mind, your spirit, whatever you would like to call it. And then the importance of your business and your career, your finances, creation of wealth, your relationships. And then what's really important is the earth. The changes that are happening on the planet actually affect our bodies. Our bodies are part of this magical planet that we get to live in. And more bodies, if you notice what's happening, healthcare is going higher and higher and higher because there are more and more people who are utilizing that health benefit, but not from proactive. They're really doing it from a reactionary of something that's going on, and really being able to assist that. And then when we add more consciousness to anything, when we add more awareness, when you expand the awareness, it's incredible. The choices are different. You become more aware of taking action instead of being in reaction mode. So the 6 pillars here was about that global wellness of you and the global wellness of the business, but it's also global. We service clients all around the world. Some of our services are that I actually travel, and others within the team travel to different destinations, really going to empower, whether it's communities, whether individuals, or it's going to be actually working with different businesses. So, you've come here, and Global Wellness for All is actually there to provide pragmatic tools, to provide you with things that you can apply immediately. It's not about let's go through 12 months and by the end of 12 months, you'll be able to actually do something. It's what tools can you put in place today? What actions can you take today that get to create the future that you're actually looking to create? And so with Global Wellness for All and Bella Pimo, which is the consulting organizations, they became sister organizations. So there's a lot of our services within Bella Pimo that come into Global Wellness for All. And then a lot of times where we're serving Bella Pimo clients with Global Wellness for All services. And then one of the things that's been really, really important for me is really the future. And most of us really are looking at today, or even a lot of times organizations might look through putting strategic plan to look at the next 5 years. But what about 50 years from now? What about 100 years from now? What if it's not just about, are you going to be around, but how do we create most people say sustainable, I like to say a thriving planet that allows that. So what can you put in place today that allows you, your business to grow, your life to grow, but also allows us not to harm Mother Earth? And so as you will find, there's a lot of programs and services that we also offer with the earth, and even starting your business in cooperation with the earth, in creation with the earth, instead of it being you or the earth. It really is such a great thing when we can bring it together. And so that's one of those things. And when we created Global Wellness for All, we knew it desired to be a huge center, a location, a space where people can come and actually have tools for their business, for their bodies, for their lives, or anything else. And with it, we are actually creating Global Wellness for All Center. The first one is going to be in Dubai, and it opens in August 2023. And I've partnered with this incredible builder. We are building a whole wellness building. Um, it's called Tranquil is the building name. And actually I've partnered with Well Cube to bring these resources to a whole new level. I mean, every aspect from, there's going to be apartments, short term, long term. So if you come have services with us, you also can rent a room to sleep in that will have the best beds, lighting, air purification, everything. Because I'm actually in a hotel right now. I travel almost every week to different countries. And I'll tell you, even the lighting in here isn't the greatest lighting. Um, the beds are incredible, depending on, I stay in very nice hotels, but it's something very different. Our bed is actually one of the most important components of our lives. We sleep in it, but it also is there to nurture your body and bring more wellness as your body is sleeping coming into the next day. And so I'm really very excited about this. And we also partner with different organizations to create greater futures. One of those that I am so passionate about is called Actions for Futures. And within Actions for Futures, there's different special things that they have focused on. And one is Forest for Futures. And it really is that we need to realize cutting trees, it may be something that's required in certain places, but that is part of our wellness. That is part of our breathing on planet Earth. So bringing forestation forward is really important. It needs to be something that is a priority for us. And Forest for Future does that. And I'm so excited about it. And I know there's lots of organizations around the world that are also looking to bring more forestation and really assist us in the carbon footprint. So it's just these things that we definitely need to be exploring and looking at. Another one is actually El Lugar, which is a property in Costa Rica, next door to Forest for Futures. The whole property has been built with communion with the earth. Not one tree was cut. The land was not leveled. Even the way that it's been constructed was to not damage by putting concrete on the earth, especially in Costa Rica. They're very environmentally friendly, but also there's a lot of rain so that there's no flooding. Like, it's been incredible to watch that if you really care about the planet, there's so many ways that we can still have an incredible life, build whatever we need to build, whether it's a business, whether it's properties or anything else, without having to completely disrupt nature and build on top. So when you actually build in communion, it's incredible what is possible. And I'm very excited also working with Hera. HeraCity.org is where you can go for that. Hera, we are building our first city in Morocco. And it really is about bringing a whole new kind of partnership with a country in the co-development of a city where it's green, where it empowers all, as well as it's there to bring light to women and empower them to be the leaders they actually are. When you look, when you really look, a woman, she's the leader of her community, her family, her friends, strangers. She's always there to lend a hand. And really looking at this is how can we empower with a marketplace, with education, a university, a place where we'll be able to really have different kinds of conversations, not from fight, but truly coming together to create a greater future. And this is just a sample of some of the things that we're working with. But these are the ones I wanted to highlight because I am so excited about them. I'm part of another association in Portugal. It's called The Club with a K. And it really is about bringing really true um, communion between businesses, being able to partner together, but also bringing in the community, bringing in the whole philosophy of philanthropy, not being there just to provide income, which is one of those components of philanthropy, but really, how can each of us be a leader in bringing light to different things, bringing more possibilities to different things? So, I just wanted to quickly bring together some information because I know this is something that people ask me all the time. And also I'm an entrepreneur. I have 4 businesses currently and always looking to expand and grow, and really looking at how much each of us, from curiosity, from play, from exploration, how much we can really make a huge difference in this wonderful world that we live in. And each of us can be the leaders of our lives and living. And one of our programs is actually called Leaders of Tomorrow. And it really is about, what do you need to be today to be the leader that's required in the future? And that future can be tomorrow, it might be 10 years, but it may also be 100 years, because you are here not just for you, I hope, but really what gift we can be of inspiration and creating the space and the path to allow others to shine, others to lead, others to have more joy, others to be healthier and happier. Um, so anyways, this was just a little quickie. Took out to be a little bit longer than a quickie. And if you guys have any questions, you can contact us at Global Wellness for All, Bella Pimo, social media, Meet Laleh. And I wonder really what else is truly possible for each of us to choose today that does create a greater future for all of us. So look forward to hearing from you guys, and definitely explore Global Wellness for All and Bella Pimo. Lots of different resources that are out there. There's lots of articles. I have over 200 published articles, lots of different books and different resources that are available to assist, whether it's a podcast. We also have a Global Wellness for All podcast that I get to interview different people every week, just to give us a little bit more exploration of what's going on in the world and what are these resources to empower us to have greater wellness for ourselves. So I look forward to seeing you guys hopefully one day in person. And until then, thank you so much for being here.